information presented on this program is not intended to take the place of
Facebook, Instagram.
physician's advice, and it is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Discuss this information with your own physician or healthcare provider to determine what is right for you.
Here to help us, Dr. Joe Esposito, who is a pain management specialist.
Dr. Oz himself has been nice enough to call in.
Joe came on. He was a wonderful guest.
Dr. Joe Esposito.
I got rid of Google after meeting Joe. You know, he's got encyclopedic knowledge.
There's so much research out there. And so many of you don't know that there's something you can do to get yourself well. So why would you take the risk of putting something in your body that might cause some real serious neurological damage? And that's where the problems come in. And that's why we do this show. The best health and wellness show in the world. Stop suffering needlessly. Every day, patients come in our office and say, Dr. Joe, why didn't I do this sooner? And my answer is, I don't know. Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you could be with us. Our revised opening there, thanks to our intern, Lewis, who put that together. As always, amazing work, Lewis. You do such good work. All right, what we're going to talk about today. Everybody wants to know. What are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about sleep and the things that you need to know about sleep. How many people have sleep issues? Raise your hand. Most of you. Some of you are too tired to raise your hands, I guess. Most people have sleep issues, certainly at some time, but a lot of people have sleep issues most of the time. So we're going to talk about sleep issues, what causes it, and then as always, as we do on every show, what you need to do about it, getting to the cause of the problem and not just treating the symptoms, because that's what this show is all about. And that's why we have well over 1,000 podcasts on the website, drjoe.com. That's DRJOE. We have well over 1,000 hours of audio and video podcasts there, so you can pick the topics that you need and listen to them so that we can naturally get you well and keep you well. I haven't given the phone number out yet, and the lines are ringing already. Lines are open if you have any questions. 844-44-DR-JOE, 844-44-DRJOE. That's the number here. In fact, I'll take the first caller, being he was so excited to do that. Then we'll get into sleep. Michael, how can we make your day better?
So if you're like most, you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain.
You are correct.
It's time to stop suffering, and it's time to take action.
There you go.
Sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want you to come see me and my team of doctors so we can help get you well and keep you well.
You're standing in for me next week, Michael. I'm taking the day off, I think. So.
Okay, so I told you I would call you because I've been on your Super Greens and Essential Source now for the last 2 weeks.
Right. What do we got?
I got to tell you, everyone in the state of Georgia and everyone in the world needs to try at least once your mint-flavored Super Greens and Essential Source with almond milk. It tastes so good. So good. They taste amazing together. I've been doing it since the first day of the month. I do it. I drink the shake right before I go out and I do a run. And I tell you, I feel lighter. I haven't even weighed in yet. I'm waiting until I finish the whole case, the whole 30-day supply of it, and then I'm going to weigh in.
Excellent.
But I feel lighter. I eat clean anyway, during the week. It's only on the weekends when I'll go out, and eat something.
Sure.
Probably what you call crappy, and eat whatever I want, McDonald's, Zaxby's, Chick-fil-A, whatever.
Sure.
But it tastes so good, and I just had to call in and say everyone should at least try once the Super Greens and Essential Source because it really, really does taste good.
Oh,
I am very, very impressed.
Thank you. I can't pay you to say that, right? That was an amazing endorsement. Thank you. So here's what I want you to do. Keep doing it. And then at the end of the month, call back again. Let's see what results we get in another couple of days.
Well, I wanted to ask you a question.
Sure. Go ahead.
I've only tried it with almond milk.
Sure.
And you suggested before coconut milk. Is that healthier?
Not really. I mean, either coconut milk or almond milk is not really a health food. I mean, they're a substitute for milk, and they're not bad like milk is, but they're certainly not, you're not going to get a lot of nutrients out of it. So either one is fine. Whichever one you like, I support that 100%.
Well, whenever you want me to come in and fill in for you, since I sound like you, you give me a call. All right?
Thanks, Michael. I look forward to hearing from you in a few weeks. Thanks a lot. All right,
Have a
bye.
good one.
Love that endorsement, man. That was awesome. And folks, that's true. If you don't know what he's talking about, there's two supplements I recommend everybody take. And they're Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. It's the minimum amount of nutrients you should take every day. And they're two powders. We have the plain Super Greens and we have the mint Super Greens. Michael was talking about the mint one. Because some people say the plain one doesn't have a lot of flavor to it. It tastes earthy. So we have a mint flavored one as well. And if you mix those two together, I'm telling you, it's like a dessert. It's so delicious. It tastes great. People love it. And like Michael was saying, it gives you the energy you need. He runs. It gives him more pep. He feels lighter. So I couldn't imagine a day going by without taking Super Greens and Essential Source. And that was an unsolicited testimony there. So testimonial. So if you want to get the supplements, they're on the website, drjoe.com, along with other supplements as well. So let's get into sleep here. So many people come to us with sleep issues, and there's so many different things that can be related to the sleep. And one of the things that you may have is called sleep apnea. Now, sleep apnea is a disorder that causes poor sleep quality because you stop breathing, uncontrollable pausing during sleep. And my father had this, and my father's not with us anymore. But I remember my whole life, he'd be laying on the couch or in bed, and I'd hear, and then he'd stop breathing, and I'd go over, and I'd put my finger under his nose, and then he'd start breathing again. And after a while, it still worried me, even, for years later. But after a while, you kind of got used to it. But the problem was they never got to the cause of it. They always treated the symptoms. And this is what we're going to talk about, is getting to the cause. Now, during the night, you might repeatedly stop breathing up to 30 times an hour. That's every couple of minutes somebody stops breathing. It's a scary finding that so many people have this, and not many people know what to do about it. So it's more alarming than just heavy snoring. This is a serious medical condition. It could lead to a lot of health issues, and it could even be life-threatening. I mean, if you stop breathing altogether, that can be a big issue. So the entire start and stop process becomes an issue, and missing sleep can actually take years off your life. Complicated sleep issues can lead to things like depression, memory loss, virus growth, obesity, stroke, diabetes, and even sexual dysfunction. So it's pretty important stuff when it comes to sleep. So we're going to talk about what causes these things. You're going to be surprised. Everything from being overweight to acid reflux to menopause as your estrogen levels drop, and all the things we need to do about. First, got to go to a break. If you have any healthcare questions, lines are open, 844-44-DR-JOE, 844-44-DRJOE. Our website, of course, is drjoe.com. And not just about sleep issues, any health issues you might have, give us a call, 844-44-DR-JOE. We'll be right back. I hear a birthday song. Ahmad, surprise. Happy birthday, buddy. Oh, they can't hear you. Why can't we hear you? I see your lips moving. Anyway, it's Ahmad's birthday today. So everybody, happy birthday, Ahmad. So we got a little birthday music there, a little surprise for Ahmad there. So anyway, it is Ahmad's birthday today, so I'm glad he got to spend his birthday we got to spend out his birthday with him. That's it. That's what a wonderful thing. And I'd ask him if he's doing anything fun, but I can't hear him, so I don't know I don't know. So he's just nod your head. You doing anything fun? Yes, he's doing something. No, yes, sort of. Okay, maybe. Okay. Anybody want to take Ahmad out for dinner afterwards? Just come by the studio and we'll get Ahmad to take you out to dinner there. So no, they take you out to dinner. That's what it is. I'm talking about sleep today. Big issue. So many people have it, and sleep issues, nobody knows what to do about it. So if you have sleep issues, it affects your immune system. And as a chiropractor, my job and my team of doctors' job is to get you well and keep you well. And one of the things we do is we want to make sure the nervous system is working properly from a pain standpoint, as Michael said before, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling. Chiropractic care is really good at fixing most of those cases, and that's the beauty of chiropractic. It's the most effective, least expensive treatment for back pain by far. Nothing comes close to the treatment of, I'm going to move my tea here. Nothing comes close to the most effective, least expensive treatment for back pain. So if you have that, I would certainly recommend chiropractic as your entry level of treatment. You could always go from there. You can go to build up from there, get a little more aggressive, but let's start conservatively and least expensive. And we want to make sure your digestive system is working. We're going to talk about digestion, how that affects your sleep. You want to make sure your nutrition is right, but you got to have the sleep to go with it. And if you're not sleeping well, something's wrong. Lack of sleep is a symptom. It's telling you that there's something wrong. So if you miss sleep, it can take years off your life. It's related to car accidents, poor job performance, low grades in school, higher susceptibility to colds and flu and other diseases, not just cold and flu. Your immune system is amazing. And every year we do more and more research on the immune system, and we find out what makes it tick. And what makes it tick is don't poison the body. Stay away from the bad foods like alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. Take things that help build the immune system. the cheapest, most effective thing you can do for the immune system is vitamin D. Most of you are deficient in vitamin D. Now, in our offices, we can send you out for blood work. It's called a micronutrient test, and we can measure the micronutrients in your body to really find out where the deficiencies are. And one of the things we test for is vitamin D. And if the vitamin D is low, we have a vitamin D supplement on the website, drjoe.com. It's a vitamin D with K2. Yeah, you should be taking vitamin D, especially when cold and flu season starts to roll around. I take it every single day during cold and flu season. But sleep is going to have a major bearing with it as well. Chiropractic care is important. One of the main reasons patients lose sleep is because they're not comfortable. Every time I lay down, Dr. Joe, my hip hurts, my neck hurts, I get a headache, my shoulder goes numb. So what do? Chiropractically, we find the bones that are out of place, put them back in place, and that resolves the cause, not the symptoms, and so people can usually sleep a lot better. So if pain is an issue, you probably want to come see us, and you can make appointments at drjoe.com. In Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. The sleep apnea, we can do a sleep test on you, and it can tell you if you have sleep apnea. But the bottom line is, if you live with somebody, they kind of know you have sleep apnea. You stop breathing, you start tossing and turning, you're snoring really loud. And again, not snoring alone is not sleep apnea. But scientists can do studies on it to determine where the problems are. So there's a lot of things you can do to try to get to the cause of the problem. Before I get into the natural sleep apnea treatment, I'm going to take a call. If you have any questions, the number is 844-44-DR-JOE, 844-44-DRJOE. Tom, how can we make your day better? Hey, Tom.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes.
I just got a test for my PSA that I do every year,
Sure.
and my PSA has slowly gone up from about 20 years ago to now it's up around 4.2.
Okay.
And I was wondering, is that something I need to be concerned, or I'm 71 years old now, so is that something
Sure.
I need to be concerned about, or is that just normal for my age?
Well, it's not normal, it's average. And there's a big difference between that. Average is what everybody else has. Normal is what you want to be. And whenever I see prostate issues for men as we get older, of course, it can become an issue. A couple of things we want to look at. Number one, we want to look at the nerves in the low back, because the nerves in the low back control the prostate. So if you have a pinched nerve in the low back, that could be affecting, maybe not causing, but affecting the prostate. There are certain supplements you can take. We do a saw palmetto, which is usually pretty good for prostate issues. We have a men's hormone balancer. It's on the website, drjoe.com. And actually what it is DHEA. And DHEA then converts into your sex hormones, and that can help with that as well. Another thing that happens as we get older is we don't use the prostate like we used to. And so the prostate is like any other muscle. You got to use it or lose it. So that becomes another issue for men as we start to get older too. But saw palmetto seems to work pretty well, along with the Dr. Joe supplement. And then we also have nitric oxide support. And nitric oxide, it's on the website, drjoe.com. It increases circulation. And the prostate really needs a lot of circulation. So you want to make sure that that's working as well. And then Super Greens, an essential source, are going to give you things like zinc and selenium, and that can help the prostate as well. So a couple of things as we get older, we just have to treat it a little better than we did when we were younger. I would monitor it. If I were you, continue monitoring it. If it starts getting bad, I would certainly consider what your doctors say. Maybe do a biopsy. I'm not a big fan of biopsies, though. And find out, make sure it's just a PSA. It's benign prostatic hypertrophy and not prostatic cancer. That's what you want to make sure you distinguish.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, I've been taking saw palmetto for years, so.
Good. Okay. Make sure it's a good brand. There are some brands out there, like if you get it at a cheesy drugstore or something like that, it's not going to have the oomph. We've got some good ones at our office. If you call the office, we can tell you, the brand that we recommend. But yeah, that's
okay.
that's right. Yeah, make sure you're getting good stuff. Okay.
Okay.
Nice, Tom.
Very
Appreciate
good.
it.
Thank you.
And my grandfather told me years ago. He said, Joseph, always buy the best. It's always cheaper. And one of the things that happens with supplements is whenever a study comes out, I see it, and it says, vitamin C is not good for colds. I saw that one a while ago, a couple months ago. And it's interesting because the research has been forever that you need vitamin C for a healthy immune system. Well, what they did was, in this one study, they used ascorbic acid and not vitamin C. Now, technically, you can call ascorbic acid vitamin C, but ascorbic acid is only 1/8 of the vitamin C molecule. So you want to make sure you're getting quality supplements, because no matter how cheap they are, if they don't work, it's a waste of money. Make sure you get good ones. We've got a lot of good ones on our website, drjoe.com. So back to sleep issues. One reason you might have sleep apnea is you're too overweight. How many people are overweight? Raise your hands. 60% of you should have raised your hands right then. Being overweight is a big issue because when you're overweight, the fat can actually push against your throat. If you're a man, if the neck circumference is over 17 inches, and for a woman over 15 inches, just measure your neck, that makes you more susceptible to sleep apnea. So what you need to do then is you need to lose weight. Now, this is not a show on weight loss today, but if you go to our website, drjoe.com, we have a couple of shows I've done on weight loss, because I used to be fat. When I was a kid, I used to be fat. So I totally get what that's like. I have stretch marks on my chest, the back of my legs. I understand the issue with food. And now there's a branch of food in the food world called food sciences, and they work on ways to get you to eat more food. How can we get you to consume more of product X, whatever that is? And one of the things we do is we put monosodium glutamate in the foods. And monosodium glutamate, in my first book that I wrote called Eating Right for the Health of It, we have a whole chapter on over 40 different names of monosodium glutamate. So when you're eating snacks and chips, you think, well, it's the snack or the chip that's so tasty. Many times, it's those flavor enhancers, glutamic acid, that do it. You really want to avoid them. You can get a copy of my book and read about what they're called on the website, drjoe.com, all those hidden names. Folks, I hear the music. Got to go to a break. If you have any healthcare questions, lines are open. 844-44-DR-JOE. If you don't get through, you're a little shy to come on the air, you can always send us a question through the website, drjoe.com. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. When we come back, more tips on how to sleep better, and we'll be right back. Hey, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're with us. Talking today about sleep problems. Most people have it, don't know what to do about it, so you either complain about it or do nothing, and we're going to give you ideas on what to do. We talked about weight loss being really important, and social media, somebody just sent in a question saying he's really thin, and he has that problem. So we're going to talk about what to do if that's the case, about some herbs you might want to consider, and then also acid reflux. And you hear me talk about that in every show. Acid reflux is a huge player when it comes to sleep issues, and it's the one thing that everybody seems to miss, including most sleep centers that I've spoken with. And when we talk about it, it's going to make a lot of sense. In fact, next week or the week after, somebody I met at an event, he's a dentist, and we were talking about gums eroding. And he says a lot of times that's acid reflux, and I just tell the people to take the medication for it. So I started explaining to him how we actually fix that, and he was blown away. And he said, can I come to your office and watch you work? I've never heard of this before, and if I can get my patients to resolve the acid reflux issues, he said, that would be great because it'll stop the erosion of the teeth. So he's going to come by the office in a week or two. I forget when it is. I'm going to show him the techniques that we use. So if you have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, there's actually an adjustment we can do to pull the stomach away from the diaphragm. And all my doctors are trained by me to do this technique. So we're going to talk about that in just a second. Let me take this caller first. Russ, how can we make your day better?
Hey, Dr. Joe. I'm sorry I'm a little off topic.
That's okay. No problem.
Well, my question is about food that will improve my thyroid function because I'm tired of taking the medicine.
Sure.
But I was 203, and I had sleep apnea, and once I dropped down into the 180s where I am now, I have not used my CPAP machine, and I feel great.
Now, thank you for that plug. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the thyroid. Yeah, losing weight is so important. I know it's tough. Okay, so losing weight. Thyroid, I'm sorry. Your thyroid gland, the one nutrient that most of us don't get enough of that your thyroid is begging for is iodine. Most people, especially in the United States, don't get nearly enough iodine than they should. And that's why one of the ingredients we put in Super Greens and Essential Source are sea vegetables, because that's the best source of iodine. So one of the things I'd recommend right away is Super Greens and Essential Source to make sure you're getting your iodine levels up. You also want to avoid the other haloids. Now, chlorine, bromine, and fluorine are haloids along with iodine. Haloids are a group of chemicals. They look very similar from a molecular standpoint. So if you're using fluorinated toothpaste, you're taking fluoride from your dentist, you're doing certain drinks have bromine in them. The yellow energy drinks that a lot of people drink, that many times they have brominated vegetable oils in them. You want to avoid chlorine, fluorine, and bromine because it looks like iodine and it blocks up your iodine receptor sites. And so you can't absorb iodine. So A, you're not getting enough iodine in most cases, and B, you may be blocking up the receptor sites so you can't absorb the iodine. So I would strongly advise a really good water filter. In my house, I use Pure Life is the water filter I have. It's a whole house water filter, and it filters every drop of water that comes in my house, taking out the fluorine and the chlorine. Look for bromine in things. Bromine is oftentimes used as a dough conditioner. So if you're eating commercial breads, if you use fast food breads, they used to use iodine because it's a dough conditioner, makes the dough look good and taste good. But what happened was they found out that bromine was cheaper. So they're using bromine as a dough conditioner. So you shouldn't be eating breads anyway, but read the ingredients in your breads. If it has bromine in it, stop. So bromine, fluorine, and chlorine, you want to stop putting in your body, and you want to start putting in iodine. And hopefully that'll solve that problem for you then.
Cool.
All
I
right.
appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Appreciate the call. All right, so we're talking about sleep today. And, of course, losing weight. Just go to the website and listen to our show on weight loss. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on weight loss here. I know it's a hot topic. Eating the fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, which should be most of your diet, is going to solve a lot of your weight loss issues. Everybody says, I can't lose weight. I can't lose weight. Well, that's because you keep putting the weight on. Stop causing the weight gain, and you'll have then weight loss. So the show will give it to you. It's on the website, drjoe.com. Certain herbs can help as well. Making sure the adrenal glands are working. That's really important to help you with sleep, and most people burn out their adrenal glands. Now, if you're stressed, how many people are stressed? Raise your hands. All of you. We all are. Stress, if you have bags under your eyes, if you're doing stimulants like coffee, cigarettes, vaping, these are all things that'll burn out the adrenal glands. So one of the supplements I take every single day is Dr. Joe's Adrenal Support. I take Super Greens Essential Source, Adrenal Support, B-Complex, vitamin D in the winter, nitric oxide. So I know the things that I need for my body, and I've worked on it for years, putting together these formulas so that I can then offer them to you as well. And all those supplements are on the website, drjoe.com. But many times just taking adrenal support does wonders for helping normalize sleep patterns. Exercise is really good. We've done shows on exercise. Go to my website, drjoe.com, listen to those shows. But the key is stay in motion. Get the body moving. Even when I do my shows, I stand up. When I do my TV shows, my radio shows, I always stand. And I try to encourage my other hosts. There's only one other guy here at the studio who actually does stand. And I try to encourage my other hosts to stand because, A, you open up your lungs so you sound better. But B, it's also a great way to get some exercise in. Just by standing, your muscles have to lock. And I was watching a show the other day, a documentary, because I'm really exciting and that's what I watch. And it was about neurophysiology and brain function. And they said something that I've been talking about for years, they finally caught up, is when you go out for a walk, but walk on uneven surfaces. Because that creates a more neurological impulse, impulses going up into the brain. So what I mean by that is go hiking on dirt trails as opposed to just a flat paved trail. Now, walking is great. But when you walk on something that's uneven, it puts more input into the brain, and that's going to help the brain with what's called plasticity, actually regrowing new nerves and making nerves work more efficiently. But it's a better source of exercise. But even if you're walking or just standing, that's a great thing. I'd recommend that as well. Of course, you want to avoid excess alcohol, smoking, sedatives. Those are not good. So by taking things that make you go to sleep, that kind of messes with your natural rhythms, your circadian rhythms, and your body's ability to produce chemicals like melatonin. And if we have time, I don't know if I'm going to have time in this segment, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to cover the acid reflux and how many people have it. About 85% of my patients that I've tested have it. Been doing this for decades. So chances are you have it too. And we're going to talk about what you need to do to fix it and how that, of all the things I'll ever teach you, is the number one thing you need to consider when it comes to sleep issues. And not only sleep issues, but emotions, happiness, pleasure. All of that comes because the stomach isn't breaking proteins into amino acids. We're going to cover that actually coming up in the next segment. So if you smoke, if you vape, if you drink alcohol, that causes an inflammatory reaction, and then fluid can build up. Another thing that causes fluid to build up and mucus to build up is food. And if you've listened to the show before, you know the top number one food that causes mucus is what? Dairy products. Number two is wheat. So wheat is what? Breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas. So if you have a lot of mucus, if you wake up blowing your nose, if you wake up going every morning, what I want you to do is cut out all your wheat, all of it, and all your dairy products. And just cut it out for 2 weeks. Easy, 2 weeks, nice and simple. And when you cut out the wheat and the dairy, let's see if that mucus production slows down. It has to. And when the mucus slows down, that's going to be great, along with cutting out your smoking and then your drinking as well. We're going to cover alcohol in a little bit too, okay? If you have any questions, give us a call. The number's 844-44-DR-JOE, 844-44-DRJOE. Our website, over 1,000 hours of podcast. You can order supplements there. Send us questions. All on the website, drjoe.com. Also information about our offices. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge in the Atlanta area. You can make appointments right on the website as well to come see us. We want to get you well and keep you well. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hey, Dr. Joe here, talking today about sleep. Really important. Everybody's got problems with it. And I promise you this. I'm going to take some calls. Joy, I know you're on hold, a couple other folks. I'm going to get to you in just a second. But I got to cover this issue. The number one thing that people have that I find causes sleep is the stomach is not digesting food properly. The stomach can be pushing up against the diaphragm. When the stomach pushes up against the diaphragm can't drop down. And if you're a regular listener to the show, I know you've heard me say this several times. But when you're standing up, gravity is pulling the stomach down and the diaphragm down, and it helps you breathe. When you lay down, you don't have gravity assisting. And so what happens is the stomach pushes up against the diaphragm, and the diaphragm isn't able to drop down. And that's how you breathe. The diaphragm drops, you suck in air, diaphragm moves up, you push out air. And so you're not able to breathe properly, and that many times leads to sleep apnea. So when we're able to adjust or pull the stomach away from the diaphragm, and all my doctors are trained by me to do this, because I have this problem too, it works great. But here's the chemicals behind it, the chemistry behind it. Your stomach has one job, and that job is to take proteins and break them into amino acids. So the amino acid tryptophan combines with vitamin B6, and that's why we take Dr. Joe's B complex, and creates a chemical called 5-HTP. 5-HTP becomes serotonin in the brain. Serotonin makes you happy. Serotonin becomes melatonin, which helps you sleep. And so you can take external melatonin. And the only time I've ever taken melatonin is if I get jet lag. If I'm, flying a bunch of time zones, I may take it to get me to sleep and get myself rebooted, but only for a day or two. Because too much melatonin, the pituitary gland has a feedback loop, and it says, okay, I have enough melatonin, I don't have to make any more. So if I'm taking it from an outside source, like all hormones, the body then says, I don't have to make any more, and your own production starts to drop down. So I'm not a big fan of taking melatonin. What I am a big fan of is fixing the digestive system. So if you have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, come see us in the Atlanta area. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge, and we can probably adjust or pull the stomach away from the diaphragm. From a chiropractic standpoint, we check the nerves that go to the digestive system to make sure they're working. And then if you do eat a lot of cooked foods, if you eat a cooked meal, I recommend you have Dr. Joe's digestive enzymes. I take digestive enzymes every time I have a cooked meal. In fact, today, one of my meals was all cooked, and I took 2 digestive enzymes with it. So anytime you have a cooked meal, recommend digestive enzymes. Raw food has their own enzymes in it, so you don't have to really take it with that. But when you eat a cooked meal, I recommend that you do, because the digestive enzymes help break the proteins into amino acids to produce the neurotransmitters, to produce the melatonin, which then helps you sleep. So that's a plan that I want everybody to consider if they have sleep issues. Pain, of course, we talked about earlier. You got to get to the cause of the pain. That can affect your sleep. Then we got to get to the cause of the acid reflux or the breathing issues. And then we got to make sure our body is breaking down the proteins into the amino acids to produce the neurotransmitters so that you can sleep. Those 3 things work wonders when it comes to sleep. So it's really important you get that fixed up. So let's go to Joy here. All right, if you have any questions, folks, give us a call, 844-44-Dr. Joy, how can we make your day better?
Yes, hey, thank
Hi.
you. You answered part of my question, but not all. My 7-year-old grandson, he doesn't have stomach problems or anything. He's just very energetic and doesn't want to go to sleep at night.
Sure.
So they've been giving him some melatonin to help him go to sleep.
Sure.
And I've been concerned about it, thinking what you were just saying, he might not be making it so much anymore.
Correct.
What would you say to them?
I would say bring him in. If he's really hyperactive, he may have what many people diagnose as ADD. And many times that happens because the body is not breaking proteins into amino acids to produce serotonin, and serotonin helps you calm down and focus. So many times when people are hyperactive, that's a sign that they're not producing the right neurotransmitters to calm them down. So is he ticklish?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's one of the signs I find in my research, that if you grab somebody around the waist and they drop to their knees because they're ticklish, they're protecting their digestive system. And so many times that's a sign of the digestive system not working. So all the symptoms you're looking at, the hyperactivity, not going to sleep, the ticklishness, those could be signs that we need to fix the stomach. And I tell you, when you take somebody's stomach and you fix it, they want to name their kids after you. It's like, it's amazing, night and day when you fix the stomach. So you might want to consider bringing them in and we can test them. And if it takes just a few minutes to check it out. If it's there, it's there. It's very obvious. If it's not, it's not. And the only thing you waste then is your time to come see us. And then if it is there, let's go ahead and fix it.
All right. Well, I'll talk to his mom. Thank you so much.
Great, Joy. I appreciate the call. And if you do have a question like Joy, 844-44-Dr. Joe. Coming up, we're going to do Head to Toe with Dr. Joe. What should we talk about today, Gary? Do you have any suggestions you want to talk about with Head to Toe with Dr. Joe?
What did we do last time?
What did we do last
heart?
time? Heart? We did heart last time, yeah. What do you
heart
think?
Or the lungs? I think
we do lungs?
I think we moved on to the lungs.
We did the lungs, okay. What do you think we should do today?
What's past the lungs?
What's past the lungs? Diaphragm. We talk about that all the time. I don't know if we need to do a whole section
We
on
can skip
that.
the diaphragm.
How about go to pancreas?
Pancreas?
Pancreas.
I have no idea what the pancreas does.
Well, there you go. How many people do? Raise your hands. Most people don't. What's the disease you think about right away?
Cancer.
No, diabetes, right? Okay.
Ah.
Well, I can't say no, you didn't think about that. No, you can't think that. Think the way I think. Yes, there's a fascist regime here. You think like I think. All for one, one for all. Now, it's going to be a surprise. It's true. You're going to learn a lot about I've never really talked about the pancreas much. It's going to be a fun one then. All right, at the top of the hour, we're going to do head-to-toe with Dr. Joe. We're going to do the pancreas. That's how we decide things on this show, and that's how quick we get to the answers. That's why we can do this, because we have the information. And people always say, what's in your brain, Dr. Joe? I said a lot. I just got a lot of stuff going on up there. But it's a lot of fun. So anyway, you got to get that acid reflux. If you have congestion, if you have chronic cough, if you have sinus problems, that all could be signs that you have acid reflux. The acid is going up into the throat. If you have erosion of your gums, that could be acid reflux as well. And so there's a lot bad breath. Many times when people have that rotten breath, smells like potty mouth, that potty breath usually is a sign you're not digesting your food properly. And in most cases, when we fix the stomach, get them on some good foods, super greens, essential source, digestive enzymes, the breath clears up. So if you know somebody, because you can't smell it on yourself, if you know somebody whose breath smells like a toilet, you need to get them in to see us because, yeah, it's horrible and disgusting and maybe funny, but it's a symptom. It's telling you that there's something wrong, and you don't want to ignore that. It's just like pain. It's just like if I had a throbbing pustule on my arm. It's a warning sign. It's telling you that something's not right. And don't ignore it. So bad breath, unless, of course, it's just oral hygiene, is a symptom of something much greater than that. And if you can fix somebody's digestive system, their whole body changes around. Their whole life changes around. They're probably going to live longer, too. Other things that can help with sleep apnea. Make sure, if it's the winter, you put a humidifier in your room. And you could put a little eucalyptus essential oil in there. And that might help humidify, and that may help a little bit as well. Adjusting your sleeping position. Now, as a chiropractor, of course, we talk a lot about this with sleep. And one of the things that I did for years is I would lay on my stomach and turn my head all the way to one side. I was a belly sleeper. Not a good idea. So what I do now is I've got king-size pillows on my bed, and I take one, I make it a body pillow, and I just hug it. So that if I do roll over to my side, I'm not rolling all the way over and turning my head so far. So that helps a lot, too. And you can put a pillow on either side of your body, which is what I had to do originally when I had to train myself, put a pillow on either side of my body so I didn't roll over all the way onto my belly and turn my head. That helped great, and that's also good for chiropractic as well. Folks, got to go to break. If you have a healthcare question, 844-44-DR-JOE, our website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. All the supplements are there. You can make appointments to see us. If you have questions, send them to us through the website. We have a podcaster there, over 1,000 hours of podcast, audio, video. It's a great website. It really is. We have a blog. You can read the blog. But tell your friends about the show. The number here, 844-44-DR-JOE. We come back and talk about the pancreas. Love that opening. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad to be with us today. We're talking about sleep issues. We've got a lot to talk about, actually. Gosh, I got so many pages and pages of research here. I want to talk about proven tips to help you sleep better. But first, we have to do this.
Talking head to toe with Dr. Joe.
If we do enough opens like that, I don't have to do a show. I just do Dr. Oz opening, we'll do the other openings, we'll do this, and that was great. So that was great. Now, that's not you singing, is it, Louis?
No, that was the great Phil Vincent, who I reached out to, and he put that little number together for us.
Permission to use the Phil Vincent and give him plugs, all he wants, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Love that. All right, so what we do every show is we do a segment called Head to Toe with Dr. Joe. And Garrett, my producer, one of my producers, him and Louis are my producers tonight, and Ahmad, of course, the birthday boy. And they come up and they said, at the beginning of the show, usually we say, all right, what are we going to talk about on Head to Toe with Dr. Joe? And today we did it about 8 minutes ago, and Garrett said he doesn't know a whole lot about what organ do you want me to do?
I don't know anything about the pancreas.
Okay, so let's talk about the pancreas on a Head to Toe with Dr. Joe. Now, Garrett's been with me a long time, and every show we try to teach him something he's never heard before. And the same with Ahmad, who's been with me a heck of a lot longer. And so far, Ahmad, every show you've learned something new? Yes, he's giving me a thumbs up. I know why the buttons aren't working, yes. So it's kind of fun when I do the show. I think, okay, what can I teach these guys that they've never heard before? Even though they've heard hundreds and hundreds of shows, what is it we can teach them new? So we're going to talk about the pancreas today. Now, the pancreas is an organ, and it lays kind of underneath the stomach, right on your left side. So if you go to your, like by your left breast area and go down, right below the ribs is the stomach, and that's what we adjust for acid reflux and heartburn. And right below that is the pancreas. Now, the pancreas essentially does several things. Most people think of diabetes with the pancreas and insulin. And yes, it does that. It produces insulin through something called the islets of Langerhans. But the pancreas also does several other things. It produces digestive enzymes. Now, in your body, we almost always have a backup plan. One place we don't have a backup plan is the heart and the prostate. Those are kind of individual organs. We have 2 kidneys, 2 lungs, 2 ovaries. So the prostate and the heart are the 2 we don't have. And we only have 1 pancreas, too. So the pancreas produces digestive enzymes, protease, amylase, and lipase. Protease breaks down protein, amylase breaks down carbohydrates, and lipase breaks down fat. Now, again, we have a backup plan. Your mouth, your saliva produces amylase as well, which helps break down sugars. Your stomach has pepsin and pepsinogen, which help break down proteins. And then your gallbladder has lipase and enzymes that break down fat. So again, you have the double backup plan for each one, the macronutrients, carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. So if you stress the pancreas, if you eat a lot of cooked foods, and most people do, how many people eat nothing but cooked foods? Most of you. So the body has to break down these foods, and it puts a lot of stress on the pancreas, as well as the saliva and the stomach and the gallbladder. And whenever you stress an organ, the organ starts to get weaker. And one of the things the body does in its infinite wisdom is it gets bigger. So if an organ isn't working properly, many times it gets bigger. The thyroid isn't working properly, you get a goiter. If the heart isn't working properly, it becomes larger. If the prostate isn't working, it becomes swollen. And so the pancreas can actually get bigger if you have a lot of stress on it. So one way we can tell the pancreas is having problems, if we do a CAT scan or an MRI, and we can see the pancreas getting bigger, then we know there's an issue. So if you're eating a lot of cooked foods, I'm going to suggest that you take the stress off your pancreas. And you do that by eating something raw at every meal. Now, when I say raw, broccoli, cucumbers, tomatoes, avocado, salad, it's going to give you the amylase, protease, and lipase or other enzymes to help break down the food so that you don't have to put such a stress on the pancreas. Another thing that the pancreas does, aside from producing insulin, protease, amylase, and lipase, is it produces essentially what's baking soda. Now, why would your pancreas produce something like baking soda? Your stomach is very acidic. If I were to cut open my stomach right now and dump the contents on the carpet that I'm standing on, it would burn a hole in the carpet. It's very, very strong, very acidic, very low pH. pH is the level of acid. So when the food passes from the stomach into the small intestine, it has to be neutralized. So the pancreas produces essentially what we would consider baking soda and squirts it into the small intestine to neutralize that acid. If you don't do that, if your pancreas is getting weak, that acid can get into your small intestine and start to burn a hole in the small intestine, and that's called an ulcer. So if you start having ulcers, it could be a sign that your pancreas is not producing this neutralizing agent to neutralize the stomach acid content coming into the small intestine. So the pancreas does a lot of things, and that's why pancreatic cancer is so dangerous. We can remove a breast. We can remove the prostate. We can't remove the pancreas. And so it's really important that we take care of the pancreas, and the way we do that is making sure we eat easy-to-digest food, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Supplement-wise, I would take Super Greens and Essential Source because they have a lot of raw food in there, so it has a lot of enzymes in it. And then if I eat a cooked meal, I take Dr. Joe's digestive enzymes, which have protease, amylase, and lipase in it to help break it down. So when we take the stress off the pancreas, it's important. From a chiropractic standpoint, we want to check the middle of the back, right around the 6th thoracic vertebrae. That's the nerve supply to the pancreas. So many times when people have pancreatic issues, I poke on their mid-back and they go, ow, that hurts. Chiropractically, we can adjust that area, get you the right nutrition, get you off the bad foods, the alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener, which all stress the pancreas, get you on things like Super Greens, Essential Source, and some raw food, and now we have a plan to take care of our pancreas. Folks, got to go to break. If you have any healthcare questions, 844-44-DR-JOE, 844-44-DRJOE. Our website is drjoe.com. Over 1,000 hours of podcast there. You can order supplements there. If you don't get on the show today, sometimes you can't get through, you can send me the questions through the website, drjoe.com. But call us right now. The number here at the studio, 844-44-DR-JOE. See if we can help you out, too. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We'll be right back.
On 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hey, folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're with us. Always a pleasure to have you along here. We're talking today about sleep issues, and we're going to talk about some proven tips to sleep better. But somebody called in. I guess they didn't want to get on the air. They want to know if we take Medicare, and the answer is yes. I think some of the few clinics in the world that still take Medicare. And we take most insurances. And if it for some reason is in-network, out-of-network, believe me, insurance is a nightmare. If you think it's confusing for you, every patient that comes in wants to know about their insurance coverage. So what we try to do is we try to match your insurance benefits the best we possibly can. because many times you have like a $6,000 deductible, a $4,000 deductible. So essentially, you don't have insurance because the deductibles are so high. Then your copays, many times, there are some insurance companies, and we dropped out of some of these, where the copay was higher than what we were charging for a visit. So then they said, okay, well, you're going to charge X amount of dollars. They're going to pay you X amount of dollars. So, yeah, you're already getting paid more than you charged, so we're not going to pay anything. I mean, what a scam is that? You have insurance, we're not going to pay anything because we make the out-of-pocket more expensive than what you'd have to pay anyway. So we try to match your benefits the best we possibly can. So don't let insurance be the barrier. Call the office. My staff can explain how all that works. It's very, very simple. But, yes, we do take Medicare. We do file Medicare as well. I think, like I said, we're one of the few people that still do that. But and with insurances, I got to talk about car accidents. If you've ever been in a car accident, ever, if the car was damaged, you were damaged. You are not stronger than a car, I promise you. I've been seeing patients now for 35 years. I've never seen an accident where the car was damaged where the occupants weren't, ever. And I've seen thousands, maybe tens of thousands of accidents in my career. So if you're in an accident, you need to come see us as soon as possible because you want to get well and stay well. And if you're hurt in an accident, the chances are it's just going to get worse and worse as time goes on. So if you or someone you know has ever been in a car accident, get them to us right away. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge in the Atlanta area. So, and you can do that by going to the website, drjoe.com. You can book an appointment right online. And folks, please, if you book an appointment, show up. It's very, very important because we're going to reserve a block of time just for you. And if you decide that you make an appointment and don't want to show up, you took that spot from somebody else. That's bad karma. Karma's going to come get you. George Harris, what is it? No, John Lennon. Instant karma is going to get you. So book an appointment. Make sure you show up or call us if you can't make it because it's very, very important that we reserve that time for you. So we're talking today about proven tips to help you sleep better. We're talking about sleep issues. I want to talk about what to do about it, which is really important. If you have any questions, lines are open, 844-44-DR-JOE, 844-44-DRJOE. That number, by the way, rings through to my offices when I'm not on the air. So good night's sleep is just as important as regular exercise and almost as important as a good diet and a healthy spine because we want to get the nervous system working properly through chiropractic care. We want to get your diet straightened out. We want to fix your digestive system. And then the sleep is the thing that ties it all together. So if you want to optimize your sleep or lose weight, which kind of go together many times, getting a good night's sleep is one of the most important things you can do. So here are some things I want you to consider. Reduce bright light exposure. Increase bright light exposure, reduce blue light exposure. So what you got to do is you got to get out in sunlight. It's important that you have daylight because that's how your body works, your circadian rhythms. Because natural sunlight affects your body and your hormones, and it helps you stay awake during the day and then sleep at night. So natural sunlight or bright light during the day helps keep your circadian rhythms working naturally. It improves daylight energy and then helps your sleep. People with insomnia, daytime bright light exposure oftentimes helps your sleep quality. So if you're in an office all day and you don't see the light of day, not a good idea. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go out at least 5 minutes, an hour, if you can, and just be out in the sunlight. And if you can do this, and if you would just go for a walk, and that's really a great thing to do, is just go for a walk outside so that you can get some natural sunlight, or at least be near windows that have natural sunlight. But what you can do is this. A friend of mine, my friend Frank, taught me this way back in college. He called it sunning, S-U-N-N-I-N-G. Close your eyes and then point your head up toward the sun and let the sun hit your eyelids. And it's amazing. He taught me this when we were studying. And he was several years older than me, who's a meditation expert. And so he said sunning is great to get the body working normally again so you can sleep better at night. So just by closing your eyes and looking up at the sun, if you have eyeglasses on, take them off. Take your sunglasses off too. And just a few minutes, maybe a minute or two. And what that's going to do, that sunlight is going to get into the body and stimulate the pineal gland, which is going to help the sleep centers in your brain. So just by sunning a couple of minutes a day is awesome. And then getting out in the sunlight 5 minutes a day is just going to be spectacular. You can block blue light on your computers and on your phone. There's a little button. If you look at all your little icon controls, there's something that says blue light. And you can block the blue light. And that's helpful as well. Because so many of us, what you do is you lay in bed, you stare at your phone, you stare at your computer, and the blue light affects your sleep. So you want to block the blue light. There's also a app you can download, and it's called F-Lux, F.LUX. And that's a blue light blocker for your laptop computer as well. I put that on my computers. And you don't want that blue light because that really, really messes with your sleep issues. Of course, don't consume caffeine late in the day. How many people do that? Well, a lot of people say, I can sleep fine with caffeine. And you might be able to sleep, but it has to affect your deep sleep. So caffeine is not something you want to do. Caffeine has a half-life about 8 to 12 hours. So what that means is in 8 to 12 hours, half of it is out of your system. Well, that means the other half is still there. So one study, consuming caffeine up to 6 hours before going to bed significantly worsens sleep quality. So caffeine can stay elevated, like we said, for 6 to 8 hours, sometimes 12 hours, depending on the study you read. So if you do crave a cup of coffee in the afternoon or late evening, at least do decaffeinated coffee. Now, here's the thing with decaffeinated coffee. It's not decaffeinated. It's less caffeine than the original brand. So it still has caffeine, it just has less. So if you go to one of these hoity-toity places, you spend $8 for a cup of coffee, which I think is ridiculous. They have extra caffeine in their coffee. That's one of the reasons why their coffee tastes so good. Caffeine gives coffee flavor. Add more caffeine. First of all, you get a bigger buzz, so you're going to drink more of it because you kind of start to get hooked on it, but it tastes better. So that's a trick that they can use is add extra caffeine. So you take the regular brand that has a lot of caffeine and take some caffeine out, that's called decaffeinated. So decaffeinated, I don't know what to call it, gourmet coffees or high-end coffees, could have more caffeine than a regular cup of the stuff you brew at home. And that's one of the reasons why you like those fancy coffee house coffees so much is because they taste better because they have more caffeine in them and they have more of an effect on the body. So if you're going to do coffee, it's got to be decaffeinated, but here's the thing. It's got to be organic because coffee is one of the most highly sprayed foods there are with the most chemicals. And so you don't want to get those chemicals in your body. And coffee is also an acid. And when you put acid in your body has to neutralize that acid. And the body uses calcium as one of its primary neutralizing agents. So by drinking coffee and other acid foods, meat, sugar, dairy, soda, artificial sweetener, you're going to get this caffeine into the body and these other acids, and the body then has to give up calcium to neutralize the acid. So I really want you to consider giving up your coffee. I would love it if everyone I knew gave up coffee because it's one of those things that's just going to cause harm. So I really want you to do that. And if you are doing it, at least do decaffeinated, make sure it's organic. Taking naps. Taking naps are good. I love taking naps. Become one of my favorite sports, as a matter of fact. Short naps are great, but long naps are not. Nope, got to go to break. When I come back and talk about naps, folks, it's really important. I'll tell you how to take the perfect nap. There's actually a number of the amount of time you should nap that's perfect, and you'll be amazed if you can do this, how much better you feel. If you have any healthcare questions, I only have 2 more segments. The number here is 844-44-Dr. That number rings through to my offices when I'm not on the air, 844-44-DRJOE. If you want to make an appointment to come see us, if you need more information, the website is there 24 hours a day, drjoe.com. You can order supplements, read our blog, listen, watch our blog, too. We have audio and video. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We'll be right back. Hey, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're with us today. It's amazing how fast this show is going, isn't it? Gosh, only 2 more segments. So if you have any questions, give us a call, 844-44-Dr. Joe, 844-44-DRJOE, so you don't run out of time. We're talking about sleep. Lynn, I'm going to get to you in just a second. And the other folks, too, I'm going to get to you in just a second. Try to wake up and sleep at the same times. Get consistent. And that's what we're talking about here is trying to give you ways to enhance your sleep. And I know certainly in my business in radio and television, people will wake up, get up early in the morning, like my friend Scott Slade. He gets up at like 2 o'clock in the morning every day and then comes in and goes to work. And he's an amazing man, absolutely one of the best in the world. But we always say, Scott, how do you keep this schedule? It's amazing because the problem is that you do this during the week, and then on the weekends you try to live a regular life with regular folks, and it's really challenging to do that. And so if you can keep a regular sleep schedule, that's really, really, really helpful because your body's circadian rhythms start to set a loop, and they align themselves with sunrise and sunset, or your sunrise and sunset, your go to sleep. And so I usually don't. I set an alarm every morning, but I would say maybe 2 or 3 times a month does the alarm ever wake me up. I'm usually awake right around when it's time to wake up. So it's important that you try to get the same patterns down if you can. If you're struggling with sleep, try to get in the habit of waking up and going to bed at similar times. That's really, really, really important. But again, sometimes you can't. You work a 3rd shift. You like I said, you work in media like we do, and you wake up weird times. And so it's important to get that rest. And that's where the nap comes in. And I was going to talk about that. A 10-minute nap is perfect. So if you're tired, if you didn't get a good night's sleep the night before, on your lunch hour maybe, if you can just take a little nap, 10 minutes, that's like hours and hours of sleep. Another thing you can do is learn how to meditate. Now, there's many different types of meditation. There's transcendental meditation. I was trained in TM way back in college. And I still do it. If I'm just exhausted, I'll take a break in the afternoon, maybe go home at lunch, and I'll just close my eyes and go through my transcendental meditation protocol, and for about 10 or 15 minutes. And when you wake up, and we don't wake up out of that, you just finish your protocol, it's like getting 2 or 3 hours of sleep. It's just off the chart amazing. And again, if you don't know how to meditate on the websites now, there's websites on meditation everywhere. 10 minutes is about all you need. Sleep, meditation, 10 minutes is going to get you into that REM level, that rapid eye movement, not the band from Athens, Georgia. But it's going to get that rapid eye movement, and that's going to get you into that deep, restful sleep. So if you're really exhausted, a nap is just going to be off the chart amazing for you, but make sure you don't sleep too long. So that's what you might want to set an alarm to make sure you don't go into that deep sleep, and then you can wake up. Let's start taking some more callers at 844-44-Dr. Joe. Lynn, how can we make your day better?
Hey, Dr. Joe. Yeah, I have a question about Dupuytren's disease. What do you know about it, and how can I get rid of it?
Sure. Well, what it is, that's a contracture of the hand. The hand contracts on that. And several things you want to look at, because it depends. With Dupuytren's contracture, it's usually the 8th cervical nerve. So the first thing we do is we check the upper back, because that's where the 8th cervical nerve comes from, and make sure it's not being pinched. So if we can open up that and the hand is contracting, then we can adjust the shoulder, the elbow, and the hand itself and try to break up that contracture. If it's so far gone, hopefully we can fix it. Massage might help as well. We can get you out to a massage therapist to try to break up some scar tissue that might be forming. And so we're trying to get to the cause of the contracture, not just treat the symptoms. Because the medical approach is usually to just cut the tendon, and then you get the you lose muscle strength then as well. So when you have a Dupuytren's contracture, you want to find out why the contracture is happening and then what you can do to fix it, just like we do for every other case in chiropractic. So you might want to come see us, and we can see if it's the 8th cervical nerve or not.
Would the same nerve also affect the foot, because it's in the foot?
Oh, it's in the foot. Okay, then we'd have to figure out what foot. No, it wouldn't be I thought you were in the hand. I'm sorry. If it's in the foot.
No, it is. It's both.
It's a hand and a
the
foot.
right hand and the left foot.
Okay, so we would check the nerve supply first. Now, it could be something in the spinal cord, but the most obvious, quickest, least expensive, most effective treatment would be let's check the pinched nerves coming from the spine first. So if it's the fourth, if it's a 4th lumbar nerve, it goes along the inside of your foot. The 5th lumbar nerve is next to it. The first sacral nerve then goes to the side of the foot. So we know where nerves go. It's called dermatomes. We know if there's an issue in a part of the body, we know exactly what nerve we want to look at to see where it's coming from.
Okay.
So come see us. Good. Let's take a look at it, okay? Thanks,
Thank
Len.
you.
If you want to make an appointment, folks, the number you dial to get onto the studio, 844-44-Dr. Joe. That number rings through our offices when we're not on the air. So during business hours, just dial 844-44-DRJOE. You get right to my staff. My staff are like off the chart amazing. And you can do it online as well. But if you do it online or you call in, please, folks, if you make an appointment, please show up, because you're really messing up someone else's schedule by not showing up. It's not just you being rude. You're taking time away from someone else that would have absolutely positively been used by someone else, and that's just not fair. So we're happy to see you, but make sure that you make the appointments, okay? And 844-44-Dr. Joe or drjoe.com, where you can get supplements. We carry our supplements, by the way, in all our offices. I get that email probably 5 or 6 times a week. Do you carry your supplements at the Stockbridge office? Do you carry it at the Duluth office? Yes, we do. All our offices carry all our supplements. So if you come by and pick them up, it just saves shipping, and that saves Garrett the work. He can do other things. So him and Tina are the ones who do the shipping. So, and you save money on postage. Other things we can do to sleep better. Optimize your bedroom environment. This is so important. Factors include temperature, noise, external lights, even furniture arrangement. If you have a cell phone, I want you to get your cell phone out of bed with you. You should not be sleeping with your cell phone, because it emits something called electromagnetic frequencies, and it can mess with your sleep. So I want you to have your cell phone at least 10 feet away from you. So I use my cell phone as my alarm. I put it on the other side of my bedroom, and I put it well far away so that it's not going to cause any issues. So make sure electromagnetic frequencies, even like alarm clocks, if it's a digital alarm clock, that can be putting off electromagnetic frequencies. That can affect your sleep. Temperature, 68 to 72 degrees is the perfect temperature you want to be at. Find out what works for you and try to keep it at that temperature. I personally don't like using air conditioners because it keeps me awake. I don't like the noise. I'm a real light sleeper. I'm a scary light sleeper. So if I have to use air conditioners, of course I do. But if there's any way I can just open my windows, maybe even put a fan in the window to blow the cold air into my room or cool air into my room, I'd rather do that. But find out what works best for you. Some people like to sleep with a blanket on. Some people can sleep naked. Some people have to have a shirt on. whatever works best for you is what I want you to start doing. Because that's going to be the thing that works, that's going to help you get a good night's sleep. If noise is an issue, consider earplugs, okay? My friend Tim is a traveling salesman, and he has bags of earplugs in his car. And whenever he sleeps in hotels, he just pops his earplugs in. That helps tremendously. If light is an issue, in my bedroom, I have blackout curtains. And if light is an issue and you can't put up blackout curtains, what I want you to do is go to a drugstore, get an eye mask. It'll cost you $2, $3, $4, $5. Or if you fly next time on an international flight, take the eye mask from the plane and put an eye mask on, because the light's going to be something that can keep you awake as well. So think about what's working best for you. Try different pillows. Some people like a higher pillow. Some people like a lower pillow. One of my friends was saying she just went traveling, and it was a foam pillow, and it gave her a headache and earache. So you got to try to find out what works best for you, and then remember that. Hey, I slept really good last night. What did I do differently? Oh, it was dark. It was quiet. It was cool. Find out what works. If you wake up and have to pee a lot, what you can do is stop drinking fluids around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Because if you have to get up and pee right around 3 o'clock, if you stop drinking your fluids then, usually it's out of you by the time you go to bed. Got to go to break, folks. If you have any other questions, last chance to send them in for today's show. 844-44-Dr. Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. Our website, over 1,000 hours of audio and video podcast there, drjoe.com, including our TV show that we do. We put that on the podcast, too. You get to see me on TV. That's pretty cool. And you can get the supplements, make appointments, read our blog. Send us your email address, too. We send out events, and we have a live lounge coming up, folks. I'm going to talk about that when we come back. Thank you, birthday boy Ahmad. Folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. Last segment. Holy cow, was this a quick show, wasn't it? Let's take a few callers. I want to leave people hanging here if I can get these. Jeremy, how can we make your day better?
I was actually calling on behalf of my wife.
Okay, well, you're allowed to speak on her behalf. Go ahead.
She's got fallen arches, and I can't pronounce the
plantar fasciitis, yes. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes.
And we've done the high-dollar orthotics, and
sure,
and nothing's working. And she's on her feet. She's a preschool teacher.
Got it. Okay. So with feet, 1/4 of all the bones in your body are in your feet. There's 206 bones in the body. 1/4 of them are in the feet. Every fallen arch, plantar fasciitis case I've ever seen, and God knows we've seen a lot of them, one or more of the bones is misaligned. And you can put the arches in, and you can do steroid injections, and all of that might help. But if it is a bone out of place, which it usually is, that's not going to treat the cause. It's only going to help the symptoms. So if you want to have her come see us, we can check the feet. And if the bones are out of place, we'll say, yes, this bone. We'll show you how we find it. And if it's not there, we'll tell you that too. So I always check, all my doctors check the feet to see if we can realign the feet. Then we check the nerves in the low back, because that's the nerves that go to the feet. And in most cases, people say, why didn't I do this sooner? Why did I waste so much money on that? Okay?
Right.
All right. We love we love your wife as a teacher. Shout out to all the teachers. We appreciate you guys. All right. Thanks, Jeremy. Appreciate it. All right. Brad, how can we make your day better?
Yes, sir. 2 questions for you. First question would be low testosterone levels. If you can answer this, low testosterone level, how do you feel about testosterone therapy? And second question would be prior military service. I have a herniated disc in my lower back. What would you suggest to help fix that issue?
Okay, well, thank you for your service. Shout out to all our military folks out there. They tie together very nicely, actually. The nerves in the low back control your colon, your sex organs, and your bladder. So could it be affecting it? Absolutely. So a pinched nerve in the low back could cause things like gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, urinary problems, sexual problems, prostate issues, testosterone issues. So I always want to check the nerve to an organ, regardless of what the issue is. So that's where chiropractic comes in. From the low testosterone level, I just had my testosterone levels checked. I'm on the high end of normal for my age, which is perfect. Because one time I had my testosterone checked, and it was a company that wanted me to do endorsements for them on the radio. And they tested me, and they said, oh, you're low, and we'll give you some injections of testosterone, and then you can do endorsements for us. Well, I looked at their literature, and they were testing me for somebody who was 20 years younger than me. So I'm not going to have the testosterone of a man who's 20 years younger than me. It just is what it is. So when I pointed out to them, they said, well, that's just the standard we use. I said, but it's the wrong standard. So obviously I didn't endorse them. So what we need to do then, and we can do a micronutrient test on you to see if there's anything specific missing, but we have a men's hormone formula on the website, drjoe.com, and the men's hormone formula is DHEA. DHEA converts into testosterone in the body. Then I recommend nitric oxide to increase circulation. Then, of course, Super Green's an essential source as your base supplement. And then adrenal support. So the adrenal support and the DHEA are hopefully going to get your body producing its own testosterone. The reason I'm not a fan of external hormones, unless you need them, is that once you start getting them from an outside source, the body says, oh, I don't have to make my own. I've got plenty. Because your pituitary gland, a part of your brain, checks your levels, basically. It says, nope, I got plenty of testosterone. We don't have to make any more. Well, where'd it come from? An outside source. So I'd rather get your levels up internally than try to get it from an external source. So working on that low back to open up the nerve supply, men's formula, which is on the website, drjoe.com, men's hormone support, Super Green's essential source, and nitric oxide. That's the approach I would take if I had low testosterone.
Okay.
All right, Brad. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
All right, folks. Gosh, only a few more minutes left here. All right, so if you have any questions we didn't get to you, you can always go to our website, drjoe.com, and send us the questions. We're more than happy to answer your questions. We have a frequently asked questions segment on the website. If you have a question, check there first if it's about coming in as a patient, because a lot of times that just answers your questions anyway, and it saves you from writing a question and we have to answer it again. That's why it's on the website. And here's the thing. We have a live event coming up. It's going to be right here at the studios in Atlanta, Georgia, and we want you to come. So what I want you to do is go to the website and set up an account in the store. Don't buy anything. If you don't want to buy something, that's fine. I'm not asking you to buy anything. What I'm asking you to do is just set up the account. And the reason is then we have your email address. And when we have your email address, we're going to do a launch very soon, Garrett, right? How soon are we going to launch it?
So early this week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll send out a newsletter with the link, and there will also be a link on the website homepage to take you straight to the sign-up page. It's signing up doesn't guarantee you a spot. We only have 50 spots, and a lot of people are signing up. So sign up if you can, and good luck.
Yeah, we'd love to have you come here. We're going to have TV cameras there and everything. We're going to film this one, so we'd love to have you in the audience. It would be great. It's going to be catered, right? We're going to have catered.
We're
going to
have great food.
Nice, healthy vegan catering and everything. So we're going to feed you, and we get to meet you live, which is great. So if you would just, like I said, just open up an account. Again, if you don't want to buy anything, that's fine. We just need your information, so when we send out our newsletter, you can get the announcement.
And do you remember when it is?
When it is?
Mm-hmm.
September 4th?
Yep. What time?
7 o'clock? 6:30.
6:30.
6:30, September 4th it's going to be. So if you listen to the show as a podcast and September 4th has already passed, well, then you missed it. But hopefully we'll have other ones too. We're going to try to be doing a lot more live events. So we got to show, and I want as many people to sign up as we can so I can show our bosses how many listeners we have so that they say, yeah, let's do some more live events. And then you guys get free dinner too. Do we get to eat too, Garrett, or do we have to bring our own?
I got to talk to them about that. I don't know if they're willing to buy us dinner.
I know.
They're going to buy them dinner.
Yeah, we're not going to buy us dinner, right? Yeah, so. And Ahmad, you going to try to be there? Ahmad's going to try to be there. You could be up. I want you to produce if you can, all right? That'd be great. Larry, I'll call Larry, a screener. Maybe Larry could be there too. So, but again, it's only 50 people here at the studio, so we'd love to have you, though, if you can. So sign up and give us your email address, and we'll never give out your email address. Don't worry about it. So, again, if you want any supplements, if you want to get any supplements we talked about, if you want to make appointments, it's all on the website, drjoe.com, or the number to call the offices during business hours is 844-44-Dr. Joe. So as we wrap it up, more things that you can do to get a good night's sleep. The number one thing you have to do is make sure your digestive system is working. Pain is a big issue. If you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, headaches, that's going to affect your sleep, and that's where my doctors can come in from a chiropractic standpoint and hopefully get rid of the pain. Chiropractic is the most effective, least expensive treatment for pain by far. Nothing beats it. Why not start there? It just makes perfect sense. It drives me nuts when people go all the way to the extreme, and then the neurosurgeon ends up setting up back to us anyway and say, let's get chiropractic care first before we cut you open. So let's do that. If you have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, we may have to pull your stomach down away from the diaphragm. It's an adjustment that we do. I trained all my doctors to do this. Pull the stomach away from the diaphragm so you digest your food and you breathe better. And then make sure you're not eating too late at night. Make sure you're eating good food. Stay away from stimulants. And if you want to listen to this show, it's going to be on the website tomorrow, drjoe.com. You can listen to the whole show. Folks, again, if I don't say it enough, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for telling your friends about the show. You've made us the #1 health and wellness radio show in the world, and it's because of you sharing this information. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Send us your email address. We send out a lot of events like the one coming up. We want to get you well and keep you well. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, the website, drjoe.com. Catch you next time.